They're just adding more of that, which is cool, and new lands, new items, all of that stuff. But in my mind, there will never be a centerpiece of Frostborn until they add it. Hey guys, in this video, we are going to talk about whether or not Frostborn is going in the right direction. So we've always had, Frostborn's always been made up of two things, right? There's the co-op version of the game. You've got your family, you've got Odins, you've got these army camp challenges where you can do them solo, but it's even better if you do them with friends or family, kind of playing through the game together. And so that's one way of doing Frostborn. The other aspect of Frostborn that a lot of us like is the multiplayer. And right now, Frostborn has limited that multiplayer to zones, really. You know, you've got the red zone, you've got the Hellheim, you've got druids and all of those elements that are PvP, but they're limited. Okay, so you've got limited times, once every 2 hours you can do druids. You've got limited zones where basically the zone is not limited in time, but it's limited on how often you're going to have an encounter. Even if you log in at the same time as someone else and y'all both go to the same zone, y'all could get 2 different iterations of that zone. And Frostborn does that on purpose, so you're not always running into people. When you first played Frostborn, it was like you both enter the zone at the same time, you're gonna get in the same zone. Like I'm talking about before global release. It was a guaranteed thing. There was only 100 people playing back in the closed secret beta version, and then even in the closed beta it was easier, but it just kept getting harder and harder. And they do that on purpose. They want you to feel like you don't know if this is going to be a time you're just going in and you're getting resources. It's not a place to PvP. Hellheim Rifts is a little bit of a mixture of those two. It doesn't happen as often, kind of like in this, it's 5 minutes every 2 hours. Well, this is 15 minutes every hour, so a lot more, 25% of the time. And it's kind of like this in that you're most of the time going to run into people, but it's actually a little bit more like the zone where you're not guaranteed. It is more likely to run into someone, but you can't guarantee running into someone. And so sometimes you get free, orichalcum, and sometimes you don't. And then they added all of these zones up here where there's still, mixtures of the same thing, resources and zones, some PvP, some not. Sometimes you run into people, sometimes you don't. You really don't have control. It's not a guaranteed thing. And now it seems like they're adding more of that. Okay, this is really where Frostborn is going. And they announced it, like this next update, they're going to add these 2 zones. And then we'll do some quests like we are here in this zone. Okay, so that's the next update. And then it looks like they're gonna add Elven lands, new resources, new weapons, new pets. They're really leaning towards basically what they're already doing and what they've already been doing, and that is you've got more zones. Chances of running into people it's not a guaranteed chance, and they're going to just have more zones and more resources. And I'm assuming they're going to have some co-op challenges. So basically they're just sticking with what they've known. Whereas one of the things that we've pushed for, at least I've always pushed for, is the idea of moving into like some kind of guaranteed PvP. Like Druid's Treasure is actually one of the things that kind of answered that, because we were pushing for it before Druids and Giants. And so that kind of gave us a little bit more of what we were wanting. But with clan stuff and even then, it's just not quite the same. Like what would be amazing is something to where you can challenge someone to a duel. That'd be pretty fun if it was like you're a family and you schedule a time with another family and you say, we challenge you to a duel. And then in that moment, y'all zone in together and y'all are 4v4. That would be awesome. Or some kind of tournament where you zone in, you fight a 4v4. If you win, you move up. If you lose, you're on the loser bracket. I don't know, something to where it's just kind of like you really get to lean into that PvP. And they just haven't quite added that in the same way. So they've added some things, but it's not been family. Like they had the mole hole, and they did that with family, but that was a problem with matchmaking. And then they added it solo, and people complained about the matchmaking, which I thought wasn't that horrible. And then they basically made it to where you didn't match with anybody. So those are the multiplayer things that they've added that I think was good. But then when they showed this new timeline, it's like co-op / random encounter, co-op / random encounter, more zones, more stuff that you can get. But there's nowhere on here does it say, hey, we've got, a new challenge or new PvP something. I'm sure the seasons might have that. I think that's where they're kind of going, is they're going to keep adding some seasonal PvP stuff. But even then, when they do it, people complain and they listen to, and I like the devs are listening, but I don't know. I just think this is cool. Like, I'm really excited about all of this stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm not over here like, oh, I can't believe they're going with the game like this. And it is in line with what they've already been doing. The winter zones are kind of cool. You got some new stuff to do. They're basically just, Frostborn is a game full of stuff to do, which is cool. I mean, that's better than a game that doesn't have much to do, right? But it wasn't quite what I was wanting. Maybe it's actually good for me, honestly. I should probably... I'm kind of excited about starting my new free-to-play solo series because... playing the game with all of these new zones and new resources, it'll be an interesting new feel. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll be starting over, kind of getting the feel for it. It'll be interesting to see how playing free-to-play and solo in this new Frostborn. Frostborn is just so different than it was when I first started. The free-to-play solo series was so different. You got to go watch it. If y'all haven't seen that, it's 100 episodes. It is so fantastic. It gives you the feel from beginning to end of where the game's been. You really see the history of the game unfold through that series. And so right now we're just talking about this development. They've added some extra co-op challenges, which has been okay. Honestly, the co-op challenges haven't been my favorite. I love Odin's. Odin's was amazing. I don't know if they can ever top Odin's. Honestly, I feel like Odin's is just such a classic challenge. Now when they do other stuff, I'm like, it's just hard to top the feel of Odin's, because if you try to make it more intense, more difficult, it just doesn't scale that great. Whereas if you make it easier, it's just, Odin's was just so perfect. Maybe I'm just biased because I've been playing the game for a while, but Odin's was perfect, and I can't imagine them tying it up. New zones is cool, but I don't know. I just kind of wanted them to have some kind of central theme, some kind of PvP related, or it doesn't necessarily have to be PvP. No, I think it has to have some element of PvP in it. So here's what I mean. Like if they added a zone or that you actually match with, right? You had to go in, you're in matchmaking, and you go in and you gotta fight mobs faster than someone else, right? And you got to complete those objectives, and then ideally there'd be some PvP, but I guess you could do it if there was no PvP. You could do it in such a way that, like, okay, let's go to a zone real quick. So you could do it where you go to the zone and there's certain, you guys spawn at the same time, like they did in this last mole hole. They had a little bit of matchmaking. That was good. They had a little wait zone. You do that, and then when it starts, honestly, just like Molehole was, like there's some PvE, there's some PvP, and you got to complete those objectives, but then make it to where at the end you see who wins. And it doesn't necessarily, maybe you get points for PvP, but if you just kill more enemies than everyone else, maybe that would be worth it, and they'd be like, all right, you've won. You were able to win in the PvE route. That'd be pretty cool. So, okay, well, I'm gonna hang out here. See if anyone shows up. This is a zone that no one They haven't gotten this, the power of the god here yet. So that'd be kind of cool if someone showed up for this. Though last time I did this, I ended up fighting a really intense Thrasher. So I hate the Thrasher class. It's so annoying. Anyways, what I wanted Frostborn to do is really lean into the whole class system, and they have done really good. They've balanced the game. But I wanted them to create more opportunities for guaranteed, like you match, you do the challenge, you're done with the challenge. And it doesn't seem like the devs want to add something like that. And I want to know what y'all's opinion is on that. Like, for me, even though, this is great and I love, what they're doing, they're just adding more of what they've already been adding, what they've already been proven to do successfully in the past. They're just adding more of that, which is cool, and new lands, new items, all of that stuff, new challenges, new enemies, all of that's great. And the fact that they're going to still have PvP in it, honestly, it's not bad. But in my mind, there will never be a centerpiece of Frostborn until they add some kind of like start-stop challenge that usually has some PvP in it, and then usually has a ranking system attached to it. And maybe I'm crazy. Maybe that's that's what most games do. But do games have to have that? In my mind, every game that has balanced class systems has to have something like that, for that to be the centerpiece of the game. And if that's not the centerpiece of the game, what is the centerpiece of the game? Or do they want to make it to where there is no centerpiece of the game? And I don't know if I like that either. So now, that being said, I am curious if this Winter Festival here is gonna have some of the things that I'm talking about. It says that there will be no enmity and no strife, but that doesn't mean the Immortals won't have anything to do. And I'm really curious what that means. Like, does that mean that there will be no raiding? I can't imagine Frostborn without any PvP. I think the PvP players would go on strike. But maybe they'll take out all PvP and all raiding for the Winter Festival, and that would be real bizarre. That would change Frostborn completely. So I don't know what they're gonna do there, but that's soon. That's gonna be around Christmas time that they're gonna do the Winter Festival. It looks like they're gonna be adding a lot more PvP in the next episode, because in the next season, because the No Man's Land that they're talking about here is we already saw that they're both PvP zones. That's kind of exciting. If there's loot that is only found in PvP zones, which I guess Hellheim. Oh wait, here we go. Oh my gosh. Oh. What is happening? Wow, he's so strong. Like I said, guys, Thrasher. I hate him. I hate Thrashers. I can't beat those stupid Thrashers. I also should have... I really thought with my clones and him not using his attack, I was going to get him down a little bit faster. But I feel like I have so many episodes now where I'm like... I've been refusing to play Thrasher because it's OP. But I think the only way for me to really get good at the game is to... Right now, until they nerf the Thrasher, is to go Thrasher. I also don't want to go Runed Out, but I think I'm going to have to. I think I'm going to have to Rune Out if I want to have a fighting chance. We'll see if he's still here. Wait, is it someone else? That is someone else. They're gonna fight it out. Let's see what happens. They're fighting. It's a Thrasher versus... Yep, Thrasher wins. Of course. Come here. Come here. I want to see if he has any stuff. Nope. Wow. You see how fast that guy killed him and then took all of his stuff? That is really impressive. You crushed me, period. Good game. How many level 3 runes do you have? Question mark. Alright, well. None. He's got 340 hit points. 784. Alright, I'm gonna go put on his gear and see. No runes. There's no way he has no runes. 784, right? So that's basically I hate that. They need to balance the game. I also just need to get better at fighting Thrashers. I'm actually not good at being a Thrasher. At least I wasn't. Maybe I can get there, but I haven't been good. Let's put on the stuff he had on and let's see what we can pull up. All right, we'll go Duelist 4 with 23 runes. Not great runes, but decent runes. Wow, I don't know if he was lying. 787. How many hit points does a Thrasher have? Plus 55 health. Okay, so I've got with a Duelist with plus 80 health, I've got 348. A Thrasher would have plus 80 health as well. All right, and let's see how many extra hit points I've got. Plus 8 health. Wow, he wasn't lying. He had no runes. So that level 4 Thrasher just decimated me and had no runes. At least none that he was willing to talk about. Unless he has all damage runes. But then again, his battle rating was lower than mine, right? 787 now. And I don't even have like hammers equipped. I really suck at this game. All right, I'm it. That's it, guys. I'm going Thrasher. I'm gonna get Thrasher 4, and I'm gonna get good at it. Even if they nerf it, at least then I'll understand how to play. I keep playing against the Thrasher. I also need to get someone who's good at teaching me. Here we go. Good game, bro. Hope you have a wonderful day and keep creating good content. Well, I'm like really annoyed right now that I just got beat by a Thrasher with no runes. I mean, he did have he had a Freya's shield, and I guess I probably wasted a lot of my attack on him while he still had his shield, and then he switched to Thor's axe after I had used my clones. I wonder if I got him close. I don't know. I hate Thrashers. I just want them to play something else. Okay, well, I'm getting distracted. The point of this episode is Frostborn going in the right direction? And I would say, sure, it's definitely not a bad direction. They're leaning into what they're already good at. I just was really hoping for some kind of centerpiece that was centered around a challenge or obstacles or PvP. And so what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. And I'm gonna go get the points to get Thrasher so that I can start getting good at this game. All right, guys. See you next time.